and welcome or welcome back to the channel. This is Carmina and you are watching 52 cards in 52 days series where we look at the 52 cards in the playing card deck and we look at them as standalone meanings in spreads, in manually cast readings, as well as some elements from the birth card meaning. So today is a gloomy day, but that will not stop us from talking about the King of Clubs. Actually, I think it fits the mood pretty much because the King of Clubs, as all kings, is associated to Pluto, which is a pretty heavy and a downer influence. So, the King of Clubs. Kings, of course, are part of the three court cards, so they are pretty significant because they embody the energies of the 7, the 8s, and the 9s of clubs. So they have this ending connotation, they have this finishing touch, we can say the kings. They are, of course, more authority figures. They are people that have reached a high level, in this case because it's clubs, a high level of intellectual pursuits. So wherever you see these people on YouTube that are very good philosophers, speakers, they have this King of Clubs element. I mean, if you were to associate them to a card, if you didn't know their birth card, you can say, okay, this is a King of Clubs person. So the King of Clubs can be like a university professor, a scholar, a scientist that is very wrapped into their research. It can be also the astrologer. So it has this clubby connotation, which is also a little impersonal because clubs can be fun, can be funny, but they are a more impersonal suit. The King of Clubs embodies this energy of a final stage. It embodies the energy of the 7, which is the destruction of some ideas, the 7 of clubs. It embodies the energy of the 8 of clubs, which is being self-fulfilled with your knowledge and not expecting validation for your creativity. And thus becoming a role model, as we always notice when we talk about the 8 of clubs. And then it also has the 9 of clubs, which shows a person that is in isolation, working on their inspiration. And it's interesting that this King of Clubs has one of the fixed cards, which is the 8 of clubs, as we discussed. When we see a King of Clubs in the cards, we usually think of a man, a more mature man. It can be a father figure, but a more cold father figure. Or it can be the person themselves reaching that King of Clubs status. If the King of Clubs shows as reversed, or if you see it in the cards of true software with a lot of inauspicious influences, it can be a very controlling person. Or it can be that your astrologer, your professor, your psychologist, your high education teacher cannot convey their knowledge to you. You cannot learn from them. It depends on the question, of course. The kings always have this heavy Plutonian element, as we were mentioning in the beginning. One of the key words for the king is sacrifice. Because when you're on a high level, of course, you need to make a lot of sacrifices. Kings make a lot of sacrifices. Every position of power, because Pluto implies a lot of power, a lot of control. Every position of powers also implies a lot of sacrifice. So it's interesting to look at your birth spread to see if you have any kings there and see how that influences the respective position. As I was mentioning yesterday, I have the King of Clubs in the Pluto card position, and it's pretty good to have it because it matches the energy of Pluto, so it's easier to let go of a King of Clubs like figure, or it's easier to let go of yourself in the position of the King of Clubs, because a lot of expectations are being put there, and what can you do but just let them go, because Pluto is anything but a smooth and soothing influence. I would look at the King of Clubs as similar to the energy of Pluto in an air sign. Pluto in Libra, Pluto in Gemini, or Pluto in Aquarius. So you purify your attitudes and your expectations regarding the things signified by these archetypes. Aquarius, the humanitarian and psychologically sound individual. Gemini, the curious, testing mind, the inventor, and Libra, of course, the partnership, trade. I'm part of the Pluto in Libra generation, so I can relate to that. At best, the King of Clubs is not self-victimizing. It makes a sacrifice for a purpose. At worst, the King of Clubs, as we mentioned, is super controlling and doesn't want to let go and make sacrifices. Now let's check out the underlying and overlying cards for the King of Clubs, and then we'll also talk a bit about the King of Clubs birth card. The underlying card for the King of Clubs is the Two of Spades, and the overlying card is the Eight of Spades. So it's sandwiched between two spades. The underlying, the overlying, and the card itself, they are all black, so a lot of hard work energy for the King of Clubs here. The Two of Spades, it means that this energy of the King of Clubs is born from being having a dialogue with themselves, finding themselves. And the overlying card, the Eight of Spades, is period, at best, a period of introspection, inner journey, self-contemplation. So that's one of the reasons why this King of Clubs has a more cold reputation as a birth card. And if you are born on January 27th, February 25th, March 23rd, April 21st, May 19th, June 17th, July 15th, August 13th, September 11th, October 9th, November 7th, December 5th, after the sunrise in your place of birth, then it means you are also one of the King of Clubs. When we look at the King of Clubs, of course, as a birth card, we have to look at the Pluto card and Pluto the planet, because as we mentioned, it has this Plutonian energy. So the Pluto card for the King of Clubs is the Ace of Clubs. It's very interesting, because they have to sacrifice themselves, being inventors, being bringers of something new. They have to sacrifice their expectations about their new and pioneering ideas. They're not here to pioneer, they're here to bring the end of a cycle. I think that's very interesting. They have the Eight of Diamonds, ecliptic card. That is their life path and shows that they need to bring value from within. They have this Two of Spades, their underlying card in their chart. They have it on the Mercury. So their communication is more cold. It's more self-oriented. They have a Six of Spades on the Saturn card, so that means their physical and psychological maturation will always be challenged, and that depends, of course. If Saturn is also there, then it will help, and health and finding a remedy will be a theme in their life because of that Six of Spades in the Saturn card, and because of that Two of Spades of finding a remedy on the Mercury card. They also have a King of Spades on the Uranus card. What makes them unique is, again, letting go of themselves, letting go of their ego. We always talk about this letting go of ego. It's kind of a cliche for spiritual people, for astrology, for any type of reader. And it can be, but I guess at some point when it clicks for everyone. And until then, it's just a word, this letting go of ego. And also, it's a very cyclical process. It's like a spiral process. It's like going around it. You can't just let go of ego and then poof. Maybe, I don't know, 0.0001% of the people in the world can, but most of us can't. So it's just like we're just going around it, we're just shedding a little layer and then another little layer and then another little layer, you know, just going around it and spiraling. So it's a very interesting life for these King of Clubs people with their King of Spades on the Uranus card. They have a nice Eight of Hearts on the Jupiter card. If Jupiter is well disposed, or if there's a cancellation. So they have 2 eights, they have it in the Jupiter position on the ecliptic. They have 2 fours, they have 2 sixes. Yeah, because they have this 6 of clubs on the Venus position, it shows that in relationships they're looking for a validation of their ideas a lot. They're looking for intellectual connection, they're looking for humor more than other cards because of that 6 of clubs. And they're very brainy people. They also have that nice Jack of Diamonds on the Sun card, getting darker and darker here. And it's not even 4 o'clock, it's like 3:30 p.m. You can think about this energy of this King of Clubs, especially, yeah, this King of Clubs, like the winter. It's something like down, it's something like deep, it's like the leaves are dry. You know, it's the end, it's the maturation, it's the finality of something. Think about this King of Clubs today and think about your King of Clubs experiences today. I'm gonna let you go and see you again tomorrow for the Queen of Clubs video. I'm not gonna leave without mentioning the card deck that I designed. These cards that you see here, they are part of this deck, and it's gonna be shipped out to me on the 10th of December. Hopefully it will get here in a week or less, and then I can ship it out to all of you who ordered it. And if you wanna order a deck yourself, check out the description for details and check out the presentation of the deck. Yeah, that's about it. See you later. Bye.